Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. But since he brought his confession to me, let me share that confession that he shared with me. So this is the translation of that message that one of our brother sent to me. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. The confession reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I was born with a gift. I was once an evangelist from a very young age. I can say that I started seeing angels or heavenly beings when I was only very young. That was when I started to see these heavenly beings. Usually I would be having a dream, and in my dream I'll see like a lot of stars. Don't you know that stars are angels? So when I'll be seeing these stars, looking at all the stars, that is when I'll start to see that these stars, they have a life of their own. They will be moving as they will be worshipping God. And the more that I had these dreams, the more that I saw this other being whom I have been seeing for a very long time, who is like an angel who has been trying to bring me back to God, but I have since chosen sin. I hope that my own confession, it is going to help another person out there. What I have learned from sin is that sin, it is like a cancer, a cancer of the soul, because once you start to live a life that is filled with sin, you keep on telling yourself that it is far much better to serve sin than to serve God. That is where I am right now. I do not want anything to do with God who is in heaven. I would rather enjoy. It is far much better that I enjoy this life. And indeed, I do enjoy women. I do not want to dedicate my life the way that I used to dedicate my life to Christ when I was still in my country. I spent years and years preaching the gospel, saving souls. So when I sit down, when I want to return back to church, I'll be like, why am I supposed to go to church? Why am I supposed to be an evangelist? Yet there is no financial benefit. It does not benefit me to see an angel. Then when I am out of that vision, then I start to think, what am I going to eat? I only have 10 rand. What am I going to buy with this 10 rand? God is supposed to be fair. You show me an angel, you give me money. At least if I have money, then I'm not going to fall into sin. The reason as to why I fell so much into sin, it was because God never gave me a financial breakthrough. He just gave me these spiritual visions that do not benefit me physically. But now I am a different man. I was able to free myself from the yoke of Jesus Christ. I moved to Port Elizabeth. That was many years ago, after I had worked for this other man who trained me to become a mechanic. When I was in church, the church that I grew up in, it is a Pentecostal church. It was not allowed for you to get married outside of the church. And there was this other beautiful woman whom I wanted to become my wife. Unfortunately, she told me that I did not have enough money to give her the life that she wanted to live. So she started dating another guy who was not even a Christian, a drunkard. She got married to that man, even though the church said that the church can never bless a marriage. So she taught me a great lesson that in life as a man, if you do not have money, then you mean nothing. No woman will ever love you when you do not have money. So at that time, I then started working for this other man who was a mechanic from church, who taught me how to become a mechanic. The man, he was cruel. He was evil-hearted. I worked for that man for 2 good years and he never paid me a single cent. What he would do is that he would go and he would buy those funny old clothes and he would give me the clothes and food, and he said that there was no need for him to pay me because I was learning whilst I was on the job. So I then spoke with this other friend of mine after he had returned back to Zim, and he told me that he was working for this other colored man who was in Port Elizabeth. So we moved together to Port Elizabeth, and I was driven by the need to provide for myself because my life in Zim, I saw that it had no future at all. Then we came to Port Elizabeth. I then started working for that man who had a garage. So we were fixing cars as well as panel beating them. So this man, most of the times, he will do honest stuff. If you pay him good, he will fix your car. But I quickly found myself slipping into his dishonest practices. We would cut corners. Sometimes we would rather go and buy a second-hand part for a vehicle, and this will be after we would have invoiced a customer, telling them that we are going to buy a brand new original part for their car. After we would have fixed your car, we used to loosen some parts in your vehicle so that you can drive your vehicle maybe for a month, then you will return back, or you will get stuck by the side of the road. Then we will tow your vehicle, bring it into our garage, sort it out, and we will give you another car that you can use for a couple of days, and you will think that your car has some damage on it, yet we will be the ones that would have loosened a part of your vehicle's engine so that you can get stuck by the side of the road. You used to overcharge clients whenever you could. The money was good, and I started to enjoy, and I saw that my boss, he was dishonest. If you are dishonest in front of your workers, what will happen is that even your own workers, they'll start to be dishonest with you. We started stealing his own tools, and we started our own workshops in the locations where we were staying, and we started stealing his clients. What he used to do is that if someone will bring their car, maybe the person would want an engine overhaul to be done on their car, then you would have to leave your vehicle for a couple of days whilst we are fixing it. If it happens that there is another customer who brings in another vehicle with the same model, then we will steal some of the parts on your car, then we will quickly fit it on that customer's vehicle, and then we will tell that customer that we had gone to buy a brand new part for their car. So this is how that man used to make a lot of money. So at that time, I started to have a lot of visions like the ones that I used to have when I was still back home in Zim. I started seeing angels that would appear to me. Usually these angels, they do appear to me at around 9 p.m. It is important to those that want to pray at around 9 p.m. Don't you know that there is a stairway that leads to heaven? So I see a lot of angels at around 9 p.m. if it happens that on that day I am having a vision. Most of these angels, unlike what people have seen in the movies, they do not have wings. Some of them, they look like us black people. Some look like Chinese, like they just look like normal human beings. When they come to me, they are always urging me to return to the path of righteousness and to abandon the sinful life that I have chosen. But I ignore them whenever they come to me. There was this other time when I got so sick after an angel came to warn me that the woman that I was dating, she was a married woman. Yes, of course, I knew that I was dating a married woman, but she was beautiful and she was in love with the money that I was making. I was given a warning that I was going to get so sick, but still I continued dating that woman. And after I had continued dating that woman, I got sick and I was admitted into the hospital. That woman dumped me. Even though the woman had dumped me, I was supposed to return back to God, but I did not do that. I no longer wanted to save Christ. I did not want to be an evangelist anymore. I did not want to sacrifice long hours for no financial reward. When you are living in sin, you enjoy your money, your freedom, and there is a power that comes with sin, because spiritually you are like your own boss. You do not answer to God at all. So whilst I was in that hospital, the warnings came to me, but what I chose to do was to show God that I did not want to be his slave anymore like I had been when I was still back home in Zim. What I will do is that there was this other nurse, a very beautiful colored nurse. So whenever she would come to me, then I would look at her, lusting after her, knowing that this is a sin that God hates. And there was this day when I had seen a vision of an angel. This angel had been sent to that hospital where I was. It was a way of God showing me that he is not cruel as I think that he is. The angel was walking around the hospital. Any person that he will touch, the person will recover, no matter the illness. But after God had showed me this angel of hope, I then went into the bathroom. As I was bathing, that was when I started to masturbate, thinking about that coloredness. This was a way of showing God that I do not care about him. I have abandoned God. I have turned my back on everything that I used to believe in, because I saw that being an evangelist does not put food on my table. Even when I go to church, that is what I do first. I please myself to show God that I am just going to church for the sake of it. It might be because there is a woman that I'll be dating going to that same church, but I do not go there simply because I want to give my life back to Christ, because it did not give me any financial benefit in the first place. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear brother, hoping that you were able to understand the translation. It was like, these visions that I have, there are many people out there that are Christians that wish, that pray, fast just to see an angel. But to me, I am used to seeing angels. I do not even panic when I see an angel. But if God will be able to give me a financial breakthrough, I can become an evangelist again. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.